Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Rule 34 podcast. I'm your host, Sleepy Jack, joined by my fellow guest host, co-host.
Dominic from his kitchen.
All right. Now, only reason I say sleepy is because, as typically as you'll see with a lot of people, you start waking up later than usual when you're on break. Do you do that sometimes, Tom? Do you wake up later than your usual times?
Yeah. These days I've been waking up to like 10 or 11.
Yeah, same. I would usually wake up at like 8 or 9 for school. But like now, I've been trying to keep up the sleep schedule of going to sleep still like relatively early, but I've been waking up way later, so it's contributing to how tired I am.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh man.
But you've been out of school for a while, right?
Yeah, I've been out since the last day of May.
Yeah, see, so this was my first time, or this is my first week being officially done with school.
Good.
I got the grade for one of my classes, and it was an A+.
Nice.
It's funny because I don't know. I was happy about it, but also surprised I got a grade that well. Which is funny considering my previous years of schooling. But I think that just goes to show the difficulty gap between previous years of schooling and college now.
Right.
But so, sorry, see, proving how tired I am, bro. But so, Dom, any interesting news that has happened to you? Anything interesting within the past week?
Nothing so much has happened. I was able to meet my cat once again after 4 months without seeing her. After the eviction incident has occurred. But that's pretty cool. I was able to buy an Oculus Quest 2, which is even cooler because it brings a whole new immersion experience to games and videos and even more games. Hint, hint. But yeah, I guess that's pretty cool.
Speaking of seeing someone again after a long period of time, other what would you say, current event news, I guess? California reopened.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, how are you feeling about that, Tom?
I feel it's a bit of a weird feeling because I'm not sure if you already seen that Disneyland opened up, fully opened up, and there was a huge line, a video of this huge entire line, and you don't even know if these people wearing masks or are even vaccinated in the first place.
Well,
so
Disneyland, I think I saw the same video, or I might have seen a different one where there was also a huge group of people, but they didn't know you had to make reservations.
Oh.
Disneyland is still keeping that in effect despite California reopening up, is that you still need to make reservations.
Right.
You can't just show up random.
Right, I get you. But still, you saw the amount of people just standing in line.
Yeah.
And let's say there's that one person who's asymptomatic to the virus. And it just starts spreading around.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing. That's a really bad thing.
Yeah, I won't get too into it and too political about how I feel about California and a lot of other places in the U.S. opening up. But as I told my dad yesterday, I'll quote one of the YouTubers I watch, and when he talked about it, he said, yeah, it's crazy how the U.S. handled this virus situation the worst, and yet we're somehow recovering the fastest.
True that.
It's ironic. We handled this possibly the worst, and yet we're one of the countries that are recovering from it the fastest.
That's true. I feel like later on in the year, as more things start to open up, people are going to be less wary about like the virus, and people are going to just stop doing like social distancing. They're going to just stop continue wearing to wear masks. But then I asked you, Jack, when do you think is going to be the day where we can all finally just stop wearing masks? Like, do you think till next year, maybe in 2 years' time? Like, in cases like any sort of like
I don't know. The hopeful part of me thinks the end of this year.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, like maybe the last 2 months of this year. You know, right in time for stuff like Thanksgiving and Christmas. You know, where you need to be around like a lot of people. I'm thinking by then, but I don't know. With the way a lot of people are and the way a lot of states are and the people running them, I don't know. A lot of countries experience a second wave. That's kind of what I've been watching out for is, are we going to get hit with a second wave? Because I know Japan many times were in the clear, but then they had to go on lockdowns on two occasions, you know? And it's funny because you would think I know this based off of like keeping up with world news, right? But I only know about Japan going into lockdown twice. One, because New Japan Pro Wrestling was the ones that had to announce they were going on break because of the lockdowns and had to cancel some shows a couple of times. And the other reason why I know is because of the times where Sakurai would be giving a Smash Bros. Like presentation for a character, and he'd be having to do it at home rather than in the studio because they were on lockdown.
Yeah.
Those are the only two reasons why I know that. But yeah, so I don't know. I would hope it would be the end of this year, but that's just the hope would be.
I mean, I think there was also some other news that in China there was another like airborne virus, I think, and they caught it on one person. But who knows if it's already expanded onto other people?
Yeah.
It might be part two.
I remember seeing that. Did you remember seeing all the jokes where people were like, where they were like, oh, it was a 40-something-year-old guy who caught it, and I think he's lived long enough. We don't need to do this again.
What would you, Jack? What would you do, Jack, if all this just happened again? Would you just give up or just continue on to another?
I think I'd lose
2 more years.
I think I'd lose my sanity. I mean, I'd be able to do the school stuff pretty well as I showed this whole year, but the whole thing of just not being able to like see people, because like one of the big things is you know, it's always dependent on the how would you say time, I guess, and like schedules. But you know, we usually record this on Fridays. If things were to open up and start going back to normal, maybe we might have to move the day we record to a more convenient day. But Dom and I hope, you know, to do this thing like in person, you know, with one another, to upgrade like the quality and stuff. Maybe get like a couple mics, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So that's like one thing. It's like not being able to do this in person and not knowing if technology will cooperate with us, you know. I mean, it's cooperated with us or pretty well for about a year or so. But, you know, there's also the whole thing of, you know, like, it's not even a lie when I say that I have not seen, like, other than like on one occasion, right? Or actually, no, like, other than on like 2 occasions, one of them being when me and you went to like drop off gifts to each other, and the other was like graduation where I was allowed just to take a photo with one of my best friends, and that was it.
Yeah.
Other than those 2 occasions, I have not seen a single person other than my family for an entire year since this all started. And for the entire year, other than like 3-4 occasions, which were just simply maybe going to get this computer that I need for school, going to get a new phone because I needed to upgrade, and like maybe like one or two other things, right?
Right.
I have not gone out once in the entire like year to do anything.
Yes.
Haven't gone out to see anyone. Haven't gone out to do anything. Everything I've had to do has had to been online. So if I were to have to go through it again, I think I'd probably just lose my sanity a bit.
I think, the same. I mean, I think on my part, I was able to meet more people over time. Obviously, at the start of COVID, we just stay ourselves closed. There would be days where I would never just leave the room. Just because, the reason. But I think over time, Jack, I think Thanksgiving or Christmas time, the holidays, you'd be able to finally open back to meeting the good friends and good family members that you know and love.
I was hoping it would be this summer and I can go at least hang out with some friends, but it's not even looking like I can do that.
I mean, we possibly could. You just need to ask for permission and all that stuff and make sure that everyone's on board at the same time without any sort of setbacks. We definitely could do it over the summer. I mean, I don't think there's anything going on in the summer. I don't think I'm going to be taking summer classes. I'm not sure you're taking any summer classes.
Nope.
So we should have a lot of time to plan, that is, in case there are any setbacks. But yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. But, see, man, I'm usually good with segues. But I'm struggling to come up with one right now. Okay, screw it. Alright, so on to today's topic. We got about 32 minutes left. That should be enough time. So, today's topic. It's not really a ranking, but I proposed the idea to Dom, especially because, it's something that he can do as someone who's not really a fan. I don't think you've ever played a game of this, right?
Yeah, never.
So he's never played games, but still being able to do this. I proposed the idea to look at each typing in Pokemon, and I think there's about, 18? I want to say 18. There is 18. Yeah, see, I know my Pokemon. Looking at each type, 18 types of Pokemon, and just choosing which one are our favorites, and it's easy to do because, Dom doesn't need to know things of like stats or like strength in the game. Listen, I don't care about your EV, IVs, and stuff like that. When you were a kid, you didn't play Pokemon and focus on that. You just chose what looked the coolest, all right? So that's what we're technically doing here. That's been one of my biggest issues with the Pokemon game, though, is all these people focusing on competitive. Again, going back to our thing about our video games getting too competitive. Bro, people focus so much on the competitive, the specific stats of a Pokemon, right?
Right.
When people were kids, no one focused on that. Everyone was like, all right, let's just pick what looks the coolest, Look at this dragon over here. Let me just use that, No one focused on competitive stats, man. So many people have gone away from that. It's like, bro, no. Anytime a new Pokemon game goes out, you know what I do? I look at the entire list of what are the new Pokemon. I look at them. I think what looks the coolest. And then I look at what their locations are. I don't even focus on, are they going to even be useful against any gyms? I literally just pick out Pokemon that I think look the coolest, make that my team, find them later on down the line, and that's it.
That's agreeable.
So, tying to that, now each our favorite Pokemon of each type. Or at least it's like, in your case, which one you picked out of all of them.
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll start it off grass type. Now, grass type is like, it's definitely one of the main three, I guess you could say,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like grass, fire, and water are almost like the base three in a sense. I mean,
Right.
they're always the starters, that's for sure. But what do you have picked for your grass type?
So, if you could kindly go to grass type 591. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think I know what this is. There's so many times I wish this was a visual podcast so the people could literally see me searching this up. I had a feeling you were going to use this one, but I thought it might have been for its other typing poison, but yes, Dom, please explain your choice.
So, 591, for those who don't know, is a very special Pokemon. Only reason being because he also holds the logos of a Pokeball in his hands. But its name is Among Us. Among Us is, I'm assuming, is like some sort of like, it was like a fungi, right? It was like a type of mushroom Pokemon.
Yeah, and so the name originally was trying to play off of like fungus, you know, like when people pronounce it like that, fungus. But because of the popular game Among Us, so many people have looked at that Pokemon now and just use it solely for that.
Okay, but in all seriousness though, I would definitely go with 722 Rowlet. It's the little owl dude who looks like he has a bow tie, but it's just two like leaves. And I'm pretty sure this is a starter Pokemon, right? In one of the
this is the starter for Gen 7, the one that's like Hawaii based.
Yeah. Just look, it's the little guy.
Yeah.
It's the little guy. And wait, it wasn't Rowlet like? Apparently, this Pokemon defeated a bigger Pokemon than what Pikachu could do, or something like that. I think
it might have. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't kept up with the anime that much.
Yeah,
I really should do a binge through it.
I think it was Rowlet that was the first Pokemon that Ash was gonna win, and it was not Pikachu. I think it was. And like in the first ever game tournament, that Ash was supposed to win, and it did win, and it was with Rowlet, I think, and it was not even Pikachu. I might be wrong though. I might be completely wrong. But yeah, you check.
Mine is the Pokemon Breloom. Let me look up what its number is. Breloom. Okay, I can't find it. Whatever. Anyways, Breloom's from Gen 3, Hoenn region. I don't know what it is about him, but I like him. And also tying in, I know I said I wouldn't focus that much on him, but he's a pretty strong Pokemon with his he's a grass fighting type, which is kind of unique. I don't know if I've seen too many of that, but he's a pretty cool looking dude. And like I said, you know, that's what I go based off of when choosing Pokemon.
I see.
Speaking of which, the next typing is fire, and there's a lot of cool designs there. You know, you have the fire monkey, the fire pig, Charizard, stuff like that, you know. But the one I chose is it called No, it's not called Lantern. Bro, I honestly forgot what this thing's called. It's not Lampet. Chandelure, there we go. It's called Chandelure because it looks like a chandelier.
I see it.
And it's a dual typing. It's fire, ghost, but because I wanted to choose another one for ghost, I used this one as my choice for fire. I mean, just look at him, bro. He's a chandelier that's not only a ghost, but it also has fire, and he has blue flames too, making it superior because he has the color blue.
That's pretty cool.
And it means its fire is more stronger, right? Isn't that true? Like, because isn't like blue fire stronger than red? The more you know.
It's that, yes.
All right. What about
it's the most. Yeah.
What about you? What is your fire type?
So I was looking at 726 Torracat and 813 Score Bunny. So I'm pretty sure Score Bunny is another starter type, right?
Yeah, Score Bunny is the recent starter from the Galar region, the soccer bunny fire.
Yes. So I think Score Bunny looks cool only because it just looks cool. Like the little underdog type, like, you know, started type Pokemon. And then we also have Torracat, who's like a cat. It looks like a cat, but it's not really a cat. But it looks like a cat. And I think that's, it'd be pretty cool to have that as a Pokemon because it looks like you're having your own pet that could breathe fire or something.
Yeah, I get you.
It looks cool. In my opinion, it looks cool. Yeah. Torracat and Scorbunnies, like they just look they look to be fun to play around with.
Yeah, and you want to know what's cool?
What?
If you raise Torracat good enough, he becomes a world champion wrestling cat in Incineroar.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at Incineroar, he literally has a championship belt that's on fire.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Literally a world champion.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Oh wow.
Speaking of world champions, my favorite typings, mainly because of the color blue, water types. Now, what did you choose, Dom? Because I will save mine for after yours.
I was looking at Tapu Fini 788. Only reason why I picked this one because it looks kind of menacing. Like it has a bit of like some sort of like I'm assuming it's supposed to be like a bit of an oyster with like the clamping shell over the Pokemon.
Yeah, I see.
But then it just looks menacing like when you open it because it's like this thing that it's about to kill you or something.
Yeah.
But and like the darkish colors along with the purple, it just makes it look like if you were to see this thing under the water, you know you'd be dead in an instant.
Yeah, that's another thing to talk about. Like just the designs, they look pretty nice, you know.
Yeah.
Now, my water type, it should kind of be obvious to anyone who knows me when it comes to Pokemon. It's Blastoise. Honestly, it's literally Gen 1 and stuff all the way, and you can say there's like a bunch of different like water types that may have better designs and stuff, but honestly, it's literally a giant, I guess you could say, turtle with guns sticking out of its shell. Like, what more could you ask for? And he looks like a boss. Just look at him. If you were to see that in real life, I guarantee you would no longer go to the beach in fear that one of those would pop up. And imagine the Navy using this thing. I get it, like in game they say like Pokemon have like some, like when it comes to Pokedex entry they have like really weird heights, but look at this thing. Imagine the Navy using this thing for battle.
Yeah, it's literally like a warship. A moving warship. Like move on land. That just looks so badass now to think about it. Yeah. Wait, what about your thoughts on the Mega and the G-Max Blastoise?
I don't think I've ever seen his G-Max, but the Mega looks even more boss because he gets a huge like gun on the back of him.
Oh yeah.
So it looks pretty dope. Moving on to more normal things. Get it? The next type is normal. Now, I don't know about you, but like normal's pretty boring. Obviously, it's just normal typing. It doesn't even have like a type to it,
Right.
But I chose Wooloo, which is just a giant fluffy sheep.
Wait, but what? She doesn't even look like a Pokemon. It just looks like a regular sheep.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just sort of. Huh.
It literally is just a big old sheep. Credits to the shiny version of it being a black sheep.
I see.
But yeah, I just chose him because, bro, it's just a big fluffy sheep. Who wouldn't? So let's speed it up real quick, Dom. We got 20 minutes.
Oh, jeez. All right. So for the normal, I got 3 of them. I got Obstagoon. We also have... did I lose it? No way, I lost it. I have Obstagoon. Obstagoon looks like a pretty cool dude. I mean, just look at him. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, he just looks like he's like a wolf humanoid type thing. Mm-hmm. Or like something of the sorts. And then we have type Null, which is kind of weird. It's like how would you say, like a combination of Pokemon types.
Yeah.
So on type Null, I'm assuming they gave him Null because he's like a... Oh, well, to me, I feel like this Pokemon is supposed to be like a reject Pokemon. Or like a they're meant to, because I think you have like a mermaid, like some sort of fish tail in the end. He has like a dog type of like body standing on 4 legs. You have like dragon claws or like bird claws in the front 2 feet. And on his head, you don't even know what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But like some sort of like stone edge axe. But that just looks so cool.
Yeah, I get you. Interesting.
And yeah. And number 1, of course, low punny.
All right.
Am I wrong?
All right.
Am I wrong?
You're very wrong. Moving on. Electric type. Now, there's a lot of ways to go with this. And you honestly, there's not many wrong choices you can make unless you pick Pikachu.
True.
What did you pick for electric type, Dom?
So I was looking at it, and I think that was it Raikou? Like a saber-toothed tiger that was just hit with a bolt of electricity.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It looks cool. It just looks like a saber-toothed tiger, from my perspective. But I don't know. It just looks like it'd be absolutely intimidating. But but really cool as a Pokemon pet of the sorts.
Yeah, I get you. Speaking of Pokemon as pets, my choice is Flaffy. Look at this thing, bro.
Flash.
It is the complete opposite of what Dom's talking about. If you guys know who Flaffy is, I will post. I hope the images are good enough that I'm able to post it. But what's it called? Dom's talking about a saber-toothed tiger, and here I am talking about a pink sheep. Complete opposites, but dude, this thing. Like, that's the funny thing, is like most of the Pokemon I have, it's either they look cool or they look cute, and literally, look at Flaffy, man. The OG sheep. I could have chose Marie, but like Flaffy just looks aesthetically more pleasing.
Yeah, I get you. Well, what about what was it? Jolteon? I mean, yes, it is an evolution of Eevee, but like it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think I always chose Jolteon whenever I was given an Eevee, just because I would usually already have a fire or water type. Especially like in Gen 1, it was like I already had Blastoise as my water type. So it's like I had it as my water type, so there was no reason to choose Vaporeon.
Okay, I got you.
Alright, next is the Psychic typing. And you mentioned Eevee. I chose his evolution of Espeon. I mean, there was a lot of Psychic types, but I don't know, a lot of them weren't really standing out to me. And then I was like, yeah, Espeon looks cool. Psychic cat, I guess you could say. I mean, he looks like a cat.
Right.
But yeah, that was my choice.
Okay. I would go for Slowpoke. Only because it just looks like it's just slow. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. But I like how the ears curl up. And like the fact that it only has like 1 claw on its hand. It looks like it only has 1 claw. For the Psychic, it looks pretty cool. But I think number 1 would definitely be Gardevoir and Gardevoir Mega, of course.
Okay. Alright,
am I wrong?
Type. I have Pangoro because it's just a giant panda. And it reminds me of the panda that's shown in Jujutsu Kaisen. Obviously, I think this came before Jujutsu Kaisen, but still, like, it's just a giant fighting panda, and he looks pretty cool.
I see.
What about you?
I was looking at Blaziken. I'm sure the name's already, like, overused, but it just, Blaziken.
Yeah, Blaziken's pretty cool.
Or maybe Blaziken Mega with, like, the fire, like, that's, like, sprouting out of his arms. I don't know, man. That's pretty cool.
You can't go wrong with either of those choices.
And you cannot go wrong with Lopunny Mega again, of course.
All right, Rock type. I have. Oh my gosh, I forget. It's like I think his name is Lyrock.
I saw you. Oh, is it Lycanroc?
Lycanroc, but it's the version of him that's like red. I think it's the night form is what they call it. Lycanroc night form.
Midnight.
And not only does it look cool and menacing, but I don't know why. I think I named it this when I played through Sun and Moon. I named it, for some reason, it reminds me of Red 13 from Final Fantasy, so that's what I had named him after. But yeah, that's my choice for rock type, which is funny because like when I was playing as him, I totally forgot he was the rock type because of the fact that he just doesn't really look like one.
I would go for the 526 Gigalith. Only because I think it does live up to like the rock type Pokemon because it looks like it's just made out of rocks and crystals, but it has like the body of like I don't know, like a rhino or something like that. But it just looks menacing with its eyes.
Yeah, his shiny type also looks pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen his shiny type.
I think I've seen it before.
I think it basically just changes his crystal blue, I think. Or yellow, one of the two. I forget what it is. Alright. So, here was a difficult one for me. Ground type. Now, it's difficult because it came down to two, but thankfully because of a different version of one of them, I was able to put them in another typing, which allowed me for ground type to choose Cubone. Now, there's a lot of reasons I like Cubone. His design looks cool. He's known as the lonely type Pokemon. And his backstory that they gave him is pretty, like, dark, but it's cool at the same time. Or not cool, but, you know, it makes you feel for the guy.
Yeah, I get you.
What about you?
I was thinking of, what's his name? What was it? Mudsdale? Yeah, Mudsdale. Only because it was like a, I don't know, it just looks like it's a cool looking horse.
Oh,
and like what's like it's like I'm not sure what's on top of its head. It looks like a bit of a mask, but I'm sure it's just part of its just body.
Yeah, I think that's
supposed
to be the hair of him and stuff. Or like,
yeah,
I get it. That's pretty cool looking. All right, flying type. I chose Hawlucha because I like wrestling, and they combined and they made a Pokemon look like a wrestling. And not only did they make him a wrestler, not only did they make him look like a wrestler, but he's a luchador.
Yeah. I would go with. Wait, what were you saying?
No, I was saying luchador, my people's wrestling.
Oh, okay, I guess.
What about you, Dom? Flying?
I would go with Farfetch'd. I think that's.
Oh yeah.
I think yeah. Only because the bird. This bird just looks like a cool bird. You know.
You wanna know what's funny?
What?
So the thing he's holding is a leek, right?
Right.
Hypothetically, if you were to cook this bird, he's basically asking you to cook him because he already has that leek with him. The more you know, Dom.
Now you point that out. That is kind of creepy, but I like that.
Speaking of creepy, bug type. This is the one type. I mean, we already see him in real life, but this is the one type I would hope to not see in real life. But I chose Lavani, mainly because it looks cool, and I remember Ash having one in the anime, and it was like pretty OP in like a lot of different gyms that he fought.
Let's see.
What is your choice?
I would go with Scissor.
Excellent choice.
Scissor. Yeah, Scissor. Only because like it's just like it would just chomp your arms off with no hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the fighting pose just makes it look cool. It just looks cool, in my opinion.
Yes, his orders are pretty great, and even in game, like when it comes to stats and stuff, you can get a pretty good one. All right, next is poison type, and honestly, I should have guessed it based off of his color, but I didn't know it was a poison type. But it's Nidoking, or it's the supposed way to pronounce it is Nidoking, but I don't care, bro. I go based off of what I've known for years. Nidoking, just like look at this Pokemon though. He literally is just like Blastoise, the definition of badass. Look at him. And not only that, going into like the game mechanics, this man can learn almost any move possible. He can learn ice type moves, fire type moves, water type moves, ground type moves. This man can literally know, I think, like surf, ice beam, earthquake, solar beam, hyper beam, stuff like that. His moveset is just crazy. So I have him for my poison type.
I like that. I would go with Weezing Galar.
Oh, yeah, I know.
The only reason why is because it's sporting the top hat, and it also acts like a nuclear silo thingy.
Yeah.
Or like an industrial like pipe, with like pollution just spurting out. But then also sporting the mustache and like that just look cool in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Let's speed through. We're gonna do 2 at a time because we have 8 minutes left. So I got Dark and Ghost next, and Dark I have Sableye. Just because he looks pretty dope. Honestly, like I don't know what it is about him, but he always looks dope. Whenever I do a home playthrough, I have him on my team. And Ghost. Ghost was the hardest one because there's Gengar, Chandelure is also a Ghost type. There's all these different Ghost types that just look so cool. But I chose Golurk because like it just reminds me of the Iron Giant. He looks pretty cool. And plus he can learn fly. Imagine flying on a giant ghost robot. That would be pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
What are your choices for Dark and Ghost?
So for Dark, the one that looks most menacing in my opinion would be Gyarados Mega. I mean, just look at the absolute like if you were to like go against this using your own sort of Pokemon, you'd just be absolutely destroyed. I mean, just look at the guy. For the Ghost, I will go with what is it, Necrozma? Necrozma, Dawnwing.
Yeah.
Because like I don't even know what it's supposed to be. I'm pretty supposed to be some sort of like bird-ish type Pokemon that flies, but like it just looks creepy. In my opinion, I have nightmares, man. If this thing was real.
All right, next is Ice and Steel, and this ties back to the thing I said about ground. It was between Cubone and Sandshrew for ground, but I overall chose Cubone. And then for Ice type, I chose Sandshrew, a lower version, where he's basically an Ice type now, and his back almost looks like an igloo itself, and like he just looks so cute there,
Yeah, I see.
Something about Sandshrew, both forms has always been one of my favorites. And it's Steel type, I have Aegislash because he's literally a sword with a shield, and like it just looks crazy. And he's also pretty strong in game. What about you?
For Ice, I would go with Spheal as well. Spheal? Only because it's just like a cute little bubbled up seal. Hence the name Sphere and Seal. I mean, just look at the guy. And for the Steel Pokemon, I would go for Jirachi or Empoleon. Only because Empoleon looks like a built-up penguin.
Yeah, and I think his name is playing off of Emperor Penguin.
And Jirachi just like a little... Yeah, I wonder how some of these Pokemon like survive like fighting other Pokemon, considering they're small.
Well, you gotta look at their moveset at that point.
Yeah.
Because when you know Hyper Beam, it's like you're guaranteed to survive. Speaking of Hyper Beam, next are the two types that actually are... Well, Dragon's actually weak to the last one, Fairy. It's Dragon and Fairy. Which is kind of ironic that a Dragon would be weak to Fairy, but we'll move on. Dragon, there's a bunch of different choices of badass looking dragons that you could choose from, but I chose Salamence.
Salamence. Oh, I was just looking.
Just because his color, I don't know what it is about his color set palette, whatever, but it just goes well together. He looks dope, and he's insanely OP, or not really insanely OP, but he's pretty good, especially in Pokemon Go as well. But the only issue I have with him, and almost every dragon type, is they take too long to evolve because their level ups are like super high, like in the 60s almost.
Right.
What about you?
For dragon, I was looking at Garchomp. The only reason this looks cool is because of like the head looks like a bit of a hammerhead shark, sort of. And like Well, what's kind of creepy is like the single, was it like a claw on its arm? So it doesn't even have hands. It just has a single like blade. I'm assuming it's acting as its hand or something of the sort on its wing, and I just think that's pretty menacing. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, Garchomp also is a freaking insane Pokemon. His hands literally, not only does he have like the fins on the hands, but like that look like scythes. But as you mentioned, he only has the one claw thing, so it also acts like a scythe too.
Right.
What about Fairy type, Dom? That's our last one for this episode.
Okay, so I think like the most creepiest one, in my opinion, would be Mimikyu, which is basically the Pokemon that has like it's cosplaying basically Pikachu.
Yeah.
But I forgot what its backstory was, like why it's doing that.
I don't know if this was true as his backstory, but I saw like something. It might have just been a fan headcanon thing, but someone said so it apparently has a terrifying appearance beneath it, so that's why it uses it. But the one I saw that a fan came up with was that nobody like would approach it because of its appearance, and so they used a Pikachu disguise because it's apparently like the most liked Pokemon.
Oh, I see.
Which is crazy. Alright, well, mine, and I could have used it for grass too, but I needed Breloom in there, is Whimsicott. Just look at the guy, dude.
Whimsicott.
Whimsicott is in that same category as like Sandshrew, Wooloo, Flaffy type beat, where it just looks cool. I don't know what it is about certain Pokemon, but they stick out to me, and Whimsicott's one of them.
Yeah, just like it'd be fluffy, like to touch around.
Yeah. But
yeah,
so that concludes our list. I think we both each had like a very diverse list, that especially because there isn't that many from like one certain gen, you know.
Right.
We're pretty diverse. I only had about 3 from Gen 1. And honestly, this could have gone a multitude of ways because there's just so many different Pokemon that are amazing.
Yeah.
But, you know, this adds another idea to the list of maybe we can just rank, I don't know, the typings maybe. Or even the starters, just based on what we like about them, based on appearance and stuff. Aesthetic. Always about the aesthetic. Alright, Dom. Well, with about a minute left, I guess we'll close out here. This has been another episode of the Rule 34 podcast. In 2 weeks, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary. Are you excited, Dom?
Pretty excited.
I can't wait for
We're really good. First year, man.
First year in the bag. Alright then, so we'll close out here. I've been your host, now fully awake Jack, joined by my fellow co-host
Dominic, still in the kitchen.
I want to thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Rule 34 podcast. As always, if it exists, we have an opinion on it. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode.